For sure, them belts coming with me. They coming home with me. I'm telling you right now.
You can see it, but it's gonna be difficult. You take it to your mom.
I'm taking them. And ain't nothing you gonna be able to do about it. Come fight
and
night.
I know Turkey is in your corner,
I promise you.
Look, it's gonna be very difficult. He's gonna be so mad that day. Believe me.
Even though they promised to keep it respectful, Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez quickly broke that promise. Their press conference turned into a fiery exchange of trash talk.
We are true fighters. Yeah, true fighters. True fighters. True, yeah, of course. No, not YouTuber fighters. Huh? Not YouTuber fighters. Yeah, of course.
They need to talk and talk about fight because they want to say something. The people know we are great fighters. They want to put a great fight.
Yeah.
We don't need to start.
I am sure in the end in the mid of September.
The two fighters threw respect out the window, trading insults just like they would with any other rival. And yes, you can probably guess who started it.
I see you. I see you. You see I'm different.
I see you too.
You see I'm different than all the other ones.
No, I see you. No, you don't look different. You're nothing different.
I'm different.
Nothing different.
I'm different.
We'll see.
You're gonna see.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
In what's being called the fight of the century, Alvarez brushed off the idea of a close battle. Crawford is moving up from light middleweight, and Canelo once downplayed the fight, saying there was nothing to gain from beating someone who started at lightweight. When asked how a loss to two-time undisputed champ Crawford might affect his legacy, the 34-year-old calmly said, "He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. This fight will be in boxing's history books for sure."
He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. I think this fight is gonna be in the books of the history of boxing for sure. That's for sure.
He's a great fighter, but he's not Canelo. I have experience, Alvarez told reporters. They focus only on my power, but I bring much more. This will be one of the best fights on my record. Canelo may be 3 years older, but with a career that started at 15, 11 world titles, 27 title fights, and 67 bouts overall, he's seen as a veteran passing the torch. He's not gonna beat me, don't worry. He repeated, which made Crawford smile and respond, for sure these belts are coming home with me.
You and Canelo, what would it look like?
Come on, man. Yeah, I know what I do. I ain't got to talk about it on the streets. I'm gonna be against anybody. I ain't never gonna say another man gonna whoop me. So, you know what I mean? That's your answer right there.
I guess in Guadalajara, you think it'd be a little different on the streets if Terence came to town?
I think every city, every place is different. No, it's different. But we don't talking about the streets. We're talking about boxing, the beautiful sport of boxing. So that's different, way different than the streets.
There's a 26 fight gap between them, but Crawford's resume is the stuff of dreams. 19 straight title fights and two-weight undisputed champion. He boldly declared he'll be the first male three-weight undisputed champ. A respectful nod to Clarissa Shields, who's done it in the women's game. I'm taking those belts, and there's nothing you can do about it. You'll see I'm not like the others. Canelo, who's won titles from 154 to 175 pounds, fired back. You don't look different, nothing's different. He called himself a winner and said Crawford is just like the rest. I'm different, and you'll see, Crawford replied.
However I gotta fight, I'm gonna win. Simple as that. I'm not gonna let somebody else force me or tell me how to fight when I've been fighting my whole life. You know, I won't be running. You know, I could tell you that. But I will be, you know, doing a lot of touching.
Give me wrong. He's a great fighter, like I say.
Canelo Alvarez turned pro at just 15 years old back in 2005, while Terence Crawford started later at age 20 in 2008. Crawford, who's being backed by a lawshik, said this is the fight he's always dreamed of. I called out Canelo. He's the last big name from the era we came up in Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, Oscar De La Hoya. He got to fight them. I didn't. This is my mega fight, my moment. Crawford hasn't fought since last August when he beat Israel Madrimov, 30, for the WBA light middleweight title. Meanwhile, Canelo reclaimed his undisputed 168 lb crown in May by beating William Skull, 32, in Riyadh.
I'm very excited, motivated, because this is all about. I want to make history, and I'm very excited for this fight. He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. I think this fight is gonna be.
Now, Canelo will headline a Netflix fight at the Las Vegas Raiders' $1 billion, 65,000-seat stadium. Crawford says there's no way he's losing inside or outside the ring. Come on, man, you know what I do. He said, on the streets or in the ring, I've never said another man can beat me. That's your answer right there. But Canelo fired back. We're not talking about the streets. We're talking about boxing, the beautiful sport of boxing.
However they rate me, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we got to fight, and I'm going to win the fight. It's simple as that.
Can I ask you about if there's any rematch clause with this fight with Canelo?
No, it's not.
Is that something you push for?
No, I didn't.
And there's any weight restrictions to the fight at all?
No, it's not.
After that short exchange, press conference host Todd Grisham asked both fighters how they were mentally preparing. Crawford said he's not worried about the judges. I can't focus on that. I've got to control what I can and go out there to win clearly. He said, like I've said, anyone can get knocked out. Canelo's got a granite chin. He's strong, durable. He's been hurt, but always respected. With the right punch, anyone can fall. I always rise when the moment calls for it. I have throughout my whole career. This is my moment, and I'm not letting Canelo take it from me. Moving up to weight classes, Crawford knows it's a big task, and Canelo knows it too.
Would like to put on a weight restriction to this type of fight. Why didn't you want to do that?
Because I want him at his best. I don't want no excuses. I don't want no, reasons why, he didn't feel good or anything. I want him at his best.
But Canelo isn't worried about size. He's been the smaller man before and still won. I've been where he is, Canelo said. I'm not focused on size. I prepare seriously for every fight. Whether they're smaller or bigger, I always train for the best version of my opponent. I'm a winner. I think like a winner. I'm thankful to Netflix, to Turkey, and to everyone involved in this fight. For me, it's about making history, and I'm proud to be part of it.
What did you say from memory that you first thought this fight was a real possibility, that you started thinking about this fight actually happening?
Well, I started thinking about it, a couple of years ago when they started talking about Spence fighting Canelo. Then just, sizing him up, like, all right, how tall is he? How long his arms and things like that. Just sizing him up like that and going to his fights and things like that. And
as the fight nears, both fighters sent final messages to their fans. They know I always show up ready. I bring my best every time, said Canelo. I'm grateful for all the support, and I hope they'll be watching or in the arena cheering and enjoying the win. Crawford called on his fans to show up in style, making the journey from Omaha, Nebraska to Las Vegas. And he made one final promise to make history by defeating Canelo and adding another huge moment to his legacy.
Experts, I think Canelo's not the same fighter. His punch output's a lot less. What do you think, considering the last 12 months or so? Is he the same fighter he was maybe a few years ago?
I think he is. I just think, he just wasn't up for the Skull fight. And I think, different fighters bring different, energies out of other fighters.
A lot of people are judging you on the Madrimov fight, saying you struggled moving up in weight. You're going further up in weight, and they're saying that's going to go against you based on the Madrimov fight. How do you kind of...
I just tell them, suit up. Crawford said, we're bringing more jewelry home, and it's going to be a big day for boxing if he wins. Crawford will make history as the first male boxer to become a 3-weight undisputed champion. The fight takes place at Allegiant Stadium, home of the NFL's Las Vegas Raiders, which seats 65,000 fans. It also marks the first event promoted by UFC President Dana White's new boxing company, in partnership with Saudi advisor Turki Al-Shika, deal that nearly fell apart before getting back on track recently.
De La Hoya waste my time with this question.
Yeah, we saw Oscar De La Hoya trying to say that the fight was going to take place maybe in the daytime.
Yeah, this is what I want from you, to say his name. I decide with Dana White to have a breakfast in MGM at 10 a.m. inshallah. Then we will go to the arena to have the fights quick.
Al-Shik was given a seat at the main table during the press conference. While Dana White was notably absent, the event opened with remarks from Alalshik, who said he had dinner with both fighters the night before. "We eat together before midnight, but after that, the gloves are off." He joked, "They were professional with me, but now the real fight prep begins. I want to thank these two great legends. Thanks to God, it's finally happening."
After that, we will go dinner to Carbon, and in the night we will watch Conjuring because it will launch in September. You waste, Oscar De La Hoya wastes my time with this question. Of course, this is in the peak. This is the boxing, the sport number one in the world. This is Canelo and Crawford.
As chairman of the Saudi General Entertainment Authority, Alalshik has led a massive wave of investment into boxing over the last 18 months. While he's not usually seen seated with the fighters, he used this moment to deliver a strong message. "No more Tom and Jerry fights," he said, demanding a brutal, high-action battle. The three-city press tour starting in Riyadh and heading to Las Vegas and New York kicked off with the media only directing questions to Alalshik. Nearly 25 minutes passed before either fighter spoke. Saudi Arabia claims these sports investments help diversify their economy, though critics accuse them of using boxing and other sports for image cleaning and propaganda. Still, with a new promotional brand and a Netflix broadcast deal on the way, Saudi's role in boxing looks set to grow even more.
Yeah, this is what I want from you to say his name. I decided with Dana White to have a breakfast in MGM at 10 a.m. inshallah. Then we will go to the arena to have the fights quick, and after that we will go dinner to Carbon, and in the night we will watch Conjuring because it will launch in September. You waste.
I was going to speak to you about some of Turkey's comments. He said he doesn't want Tom and Jerry, people running away in the ring. And what did you make of that?
I agree with that. You know, people want to see a good fight. And I agree with that.
Do you think
because, you know, people come and spend money to see a great fight, and if the other fighter come and run all the night and don't make a good fight, it's deceptional.
Turkey, Alalshik, often referred to as His Excellency, has become the face of Saudi Arabia's rise in global boxing, backed by big money. "I hate Tom and Jerry boxing," he said, referencing boxers who run away from opponents. Canelo and Crawford better deliver smashing faces, blood. That's what boxing is. He didn't give specific rules or requests, but his message was crystal clear. The fans and he expect a war. Crawford and Alvarez faced off in Riyadh, where Canelo is coming off a dull win over William Skull in May. The crowd booed Skull for avoiding action, and Canelo didn't chase him much. That fight was the first of Alvarez's 5-fight deal with the Saudis.
I waste my time with this question. Of course, this is in the peak. This is the boxing, the sport number one in the world. This is Canelo and Crawford.
All right, on the left-hand side here.
you think he saw your fight with Skull and potentially came to the conclusion?
And we talk after about that, and it's very sad. But, you know, it is what it is.
I know.
Crawford will do that.
I hope not, because we expect a great fight, the fight of the century, right? So I hope not.
Crawford hasn't fought since August 2024, when he beat Israel Madrimov by unanimous decision. Like Canelo, he also heard boos from fans during a slow-paced bout without knockdowns. Alalshik said he didn't want a full-size 12x12 ring this time to avoid another uneventful fight. Still, he chose to have dinner with both fighters before the press conference. They were professional at dinner, but after that, they know what's expected, Alalshik said. Yet, neither Alvarez nor Crawford seemed fazed by the comments. When they step into Allegiant Stadium in September to battle for the undisputed super middleweight crown, it's clear that it's not the politics. They're both focused only on each other.
You heard His Excellency saying no more Tom and Jerry, no more running, but you're moving up 2 weight classes. It's not going to be smart for you to stand there and hammer it out with this guy. So how do you kind of balance that, not running, but being elusive in fighting Canelo?
However I gotta fight, I'm gonna win. Simple as that. I'm not gonna let somebody else force me or tell me how to fight when I've been fighting my whole life. You know, I won't be running.
At 37, Terence Crawford is jumping up to weight classes 14 pounds to face Canelo Alvarez at Super Middleweight. Fans would love to see both men trade blows toe-to-toe, and that might be the kind of fight Turki Alalshik wants. But Crawford isn't interested in fighting anyone else's way. "I'm not going to let someone tell me how to fight," he said. "I've been doing this my whole life. I'm not going to run, but I'll be doing a lot of touching, too." His credit, Crawford had won 11 straight fights by knockout before his slower bout with Madrimov. Canelo, now 34, believes this fight will be remembered forever. Still, his last fight against Skull was far from exciting. It was a bad fight, but we won. That's all that matters, Canelo said.
Well, listen, I called Canelo out because, like I said, he the last great fighter amongst the era that surpassed us. You know, the Floyd, the Pacquiao, the De La Hoya. We both came up in that era, and he was right there with those fighters, and he got the chance to fight the Miguel Cottos, the Floyd Mayweathers, and you know, the Kovalevs and Triple G's, and I wasn't able to get those.
But if Canelo was listening during dinner or at the press conference, he'd know that's not all that matters to Alalshik or to most boxing fans.
Your Excellency, Tazzy Brown from Australia, fighthype.com. First of all, congratulations for everything you've done for boxing since you've come into the game. You've gave us many great fights, and you continue with Your Excellency to keep giving us greater fights. You're a boxing historian yourself. Do you think this fight resembles Marvin Hagler Sugar a minute in the 80s? The fact that Canelo and Terence Crawford are the two great pound-for-pound legends, both first ballot Hall of Famers in the future.
Canelo hasn't scored a knockout since 2021 when he stopped Caleb Plant in the 11th round. Maybe Alalshik will bring that up at another dinner with the fighters. Back to the boxing. The press conference wrapped up with the usual face-off, and all eyes shifted to the two men getting ready to fight for the undisputed super middleweight crown on September 13th in Las Vegas. This was the first time both had spoken publicly since the fight was announced.
Terence cannot do.
No, don't get me wrong. He's a great fighter, like I say, he's not Canelo. Obviously, I'm been in this situation for a long time, and I have the experience. They only focus on my power, but I have more than that, and I think this fight is gonna be one of my best fights.
Dramatic music played during the face-off, where Canelo was the first to break eye contact. In an interview with Boxing Social, former three-weight world champion Shane Mosley, who fought Canelo in 2012, was asked if he thinks Crawford can win. "No, I can't see it," Mosley said. "Canelo has skills too, it's not like he doesn't. If they fought at 154, maybe, but now at 168, I just don't think Crawford has a shot."
I think Canelo's too big for Crawford. I think Canelo's too big for Crawford. I think that's the reason why if Crawford was a mover like the rest of the fight, then maybe he can have a good chance with Canelo. But I think that being that Crawford is a fighter, that's gonna be a problem. He's a fighter. He wants to fight. He's gonna move a little bit, but his heart is not in moving. So he's gonna have to sit there and fight with Canelo. And if you sit there and fight with Canelo and he's that much bigger than you, then I don't know.
Since moving up to super middleweight in 2018, Canelo has proven himself by beating names like Gennady Golovkin, Jermall Charlo, and Jaime Munguia. A win for Crawford would make him the first male boxer ever to become an undisputed champion in 3 different weight classes, a historic moment in boxing. That's all for now. For the latest updates, moments, and fight breakdowns, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Until next time.